Trustee Aiello. Trustee Bolfus.
Here.
Trustee Taglia.
Here.
Trustee Case. Trustee Wagner.
Here.
President Bowinkle.
Here. Could all please rise for the pledge. We have special guests here with us tonight. Villa Park Pack 122 is going to lead us in the pledge tonight. Ask everybody to remain standing for just one more second. And Trustee Wagner is going to lead us in a prayer tonight.
Thank you, Madam President. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace, Lord God, as we make decisions that might affect the residents, staff, businesses, surrounding communities, and all those that enter the village of Villa Park. And continue to remind us that all that we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
We're on the Committee of the Whole agenda, item number 3, and those of you who are with us tonight, if you didn't grab an agenda and you'd like to, we have extra agendas in the rack on the door right as you walk into the chamber. So we're at item number 3 on the Committee of the Whole, amendments of the agenda. This is for the COW agenda. Anybody on the board have any amendments to the COW? No? Okay, we're going to move on to item number 4, proclamation recognizing Sunday, February 8th, 2015 is Scout Day. You might have noticed we have a number of scouts here today from Villa Park Pack 122. So those of you who'd like to come up to the podium, as I read the proclamation, you're welcome to do that. And then they'd like to get a picture afterwards, so we'll do that. Whoever wants to come up to the podium, you're welcome to. We've got Tom Swastik, okay, the Cub Master. We have Amy Denault and Rosa, I'm sorry, Pascaveo. Okay, and a number of Cub Scouts here with us. All right, we're going to read proclamation recognizing Sunday, February 8th, 2015 as Scout Day. Whereas the Boy Scouts of America have designated the Sunday preceding the 8th of February, or the 8th of February if it is a Sunday, as Scout Day. And whereas the Boy Scouts of America is one of the nation's largest and most prominent values-based youth development organizations, and whereas the Boy Scouts of America provides a program for young people that builds character, trains them in the responsibilities of participating citizenship, and develops personal fitness. And whereas Scout Day is meant to mark the founding of the Scouts in the United States on February 8, 1910. And whereas Cub Scout Pack 122, who's before us tonight, is participating in the national recognition of Scout Day. Whereas Cub Scout Pack 122 was organized on September 1st, 1957. Whereas Cub Scouts Pack 122 have been actively working on paper conservation to benefit the restocking of ponds and schools. Whereas be it resolved that I, Deborah Bullwinkle, President, Village of Villa Park, recognize Sunday, February 8th, 2015 as Scout Day in Villa Park, Illinois. Dated on this day, the 26th of January, 2015. I'll give you all a hand. And we framed and sealed the proclamation for you, so if you all would like to have a picture, you can come up here so we get the whole board. If you'd like to come up here really quick, we get you a really quick picture here. Maybe the board can come together. Maybe you can stand.
We can just scoot down.
Yeah, or scoot down, however you want to do. I wanted to make sure that the whole board,
Okay, look picture. I got two.
at least those of us that are here with us tonight, could be in this picture. Okay? All right. And we'll hold this. We'll try to get this in here really quick, okay? Yeah, all right. Everybody be seen?
Can you see? Can you guys see?
The whole board and all the Cub Scouts, everybody? Master and all?
Okay, take a couple like. Okay, you're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Don't go anywhere. Where are you?
Really good photo of you guys. Back and forth.
Thank you.
Yes. You got your email?
Here, just,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
If you just give me a number, I'll text it to her.
That's our future, ladies and gentlemen, right there. So, pleasure to do that for you. One of the many fun things about this job. All right. Now we're going to move on. We're still in the committee of the whole. We're going to move on to item number 5, another really important thing coming up. We have presentation of the Holiday Decorating Awards by the Community Pride Commission. And we have some members of our Community Pride Commission here tonight, so I'll hand it off to you.
Good evening.
Hi.
Diane Blair Sherlock from the Community Pride Commission. Michaela, our junior commissioner, and Carol Davis is present. Some of the ladies couldn't come tonight, but we're always happy to come here for these types of things. And I got to make a pitch for our next thing, of course. In May, we have Pride Week, and one of our favorite things to do for Pride Week is the Spirit Awards. And the Spirit Awards are awards to people in the community for their good works in the community. It doesn't have to be grand scale. It can be helping your neighbors, you know. But what we ask is for people in the community to submit to us people that they think contribute to our community and give to our community that they think would deserve the Spirit Award. So May's a long way off, but
Not
I'm
really.
giving you fair warning, okay? You can email us, contact us through invillapark.com, and get us those submissions for the Spirit Awards.
Okay, sounds good.
Now, we're here for the Holiday Decorating Awards. And I have to tell you, I was like, it's going to be a quick meeting. We're just doing the awards, and we were there for almost 2 hours. Because we just had so many awesome submissions this year, it was really hard to narrow it down. We did, but it was hard.
I definitely don't envy you for having to do that.
You know, keep them coming though, because they were great and so many good ones. And you know, it's like, how do you really say one's better than the next? I could give 50 of them, but we're here to present these tonight. We'd like to start. Some of the people are here. We'll introduce them, and then I'll just give the last 2 who I don't believe are going to make it tonight. Okay?
You can still give them credit.
There you go.
Say their name
Absolutely.
publicly.
I want to get them out there.
Awesome.
So first we have Ramiro Montoya for his property at 146 North Myrtle.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, and it was terrific. And we do have pictures.
Was it
and
very
I-
sparkly? Lots of lights?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it was gorgeous. And we're going to try and get pictures up on our website.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be wonderful,
Thank you
so everybody can
much.
see.
You really enhance the community.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Other residents can get some really good ideas out of this, so,
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
And I love how
next?
competitive they get, because then this guy wants to top that guy next year, so bring it on. Okay, so our next couple is Alan and Doreen Gervais for their property at 1425 South Oakland.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Lots of lights too, I
Yeah.
bet, huh?
Oh, yes.
This one? Uh-huh.
And I have to
Decorations.
say, look at what Jeannie did with these.
Aw.
She did a really
Yeah,
nice
she's-
job. Anyhow, Jeannie does the
Nicholson,
certificates,
yes.
and she always does a great job. She couldn't be here tonight.
Jean Nicholson.
Okay, now, I'm not sure if they're here or not, but Gary and Mary Buscemi. Oh, there you are.
Fabulous.
I hope I pronounced the name right. All right. Thank you so much. Their house is 706 South Illinois.
Wonderful.
Hey. Okay, and then sadly, our last 2 weren't able to make it this evening, but we had Patricia and Robert, I'm going to try, Kruskowski on South Yale, 629 South Yale, and Mrs. Rodriguez at 717 South Michigan.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah, and we're going to get these
Congratulations.
to their homes.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really quick, how long have you all been issuing these? I know you do a lot of awards throughout the years. How long have you been?
The Holiday Awards, I think, since the Pride Commission started. Actually, Hosanna was, I believe, on the original Pride Commission.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so
wonderful.
very long time,
Yeah,
yes.
right. Nice tradition. Thank you.
There you go.
Michaela, it's nice to see you too, one of our newer junior commissioners.
Yep.
So, yeah, thank you.
Clara's sick, she couldn't make
Yeah,
it.
it's okay. You have good representation. I know she's watching. She's not. Let's go
Yeah.
slow.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very, very much. All right. Moving on then to item number 6. on the Committee of the Whole agenda, recycling presentation by Northern Illinois University Administrative Intern Adam Hall. Adam? Oh, he's got laptop and all. All right. I'm going to toss it to you and
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'm just here today to talk a little bit about our recycling program, sort of where we're at in the village and how we're doing, and sort of what the future plans are and what the village is looking at in the future in regards to that. So to talk about our recycling program, it began in 1993 with Waste Management. When they entered a contract in with the village, they decided to provide 20-gallon totes to all residential households within the village. Since that time, there hasn't really been any sort of recycling program that's been planned. It was sort of just, here's 20-gallon totes. You could purchase replacements at the Public Works Department, and there hasn't really been a program to say created. So currently, tote usage, since it was done in 1993, is ad hoc. People sort of create their own recycling totes. If the 20-gallon totes have fallen down, as long as they're labeled recycling, Roy Strom will take them. So pretty much there's no uniform recycling container throughout the village currently being utilized. So to sort of compare us to our counterparts in DuPage County, the recycling average is about 41%. Within the village, it's only 31% currently. So recently, the village manager took steps in the contract negotiations with Roy Strom to sort of bring recycling to the forefront. So what we did was we created we took the Friday pickup, which was 964 households, and we provided them with 64-gallon totes at no cost to the resident. Roy Strom handled that, and we provided the 64-gallon wheeled recycling totes so the residents can use those for the recycling. So the program was highly successful. Only 5 resident households returned their recycling totes, and it sort of incentivized our program and made it more effective for recycling. So what we did also within the contract is create an incentivization. Currently, the village has 41 pounds of solid municipal waste and 10 pounds of recycling. If the village reaches 35 pounds of municipal solid waste and 15 pounds of recycling, 0.5% is deducted from the households within that location. And that's for the 3-month quarterly period. So if you hit that recycling total, 0.5% is deducted from the household cost of collecting the recycling. Or collecting the garbage. I don't know where my mouse went.
while we're on this, this slide, how will the resident know, or how will we know that they've reached that milestone so we can get those rebates back to the residents?
Roy Strom will let us know. Currently, we haven't reached that milestone.
No? Do you know how far off we
we're
are?
Still a ways away. We're probably about 40 pounds and still only about 10 or 11 pounds for municipal waste. So what we really focused on is a single stream recycling. Roy Strom has a single stream recycling, which means that you don't have to separate your plastics, your glass, your any of those items. You could throw them all in the bin together. So Roy Strom will take the entire bin and dump it, and it's all separated and sorted at the Greenfield facility. So what that means for the program is it makes it easier. It makes it easier for people to recycle. All you have to do is just take your items, put them in the bin, take it out to the curb, and you're all set to go. And it makes recycling effective and efficient. So currently, what I've been tasked with is investigating the program, the Friday program, the pilot program that Roy Strom and the village conjunctively have done. So it's been effective. Recycling is up. The pilot program has increased recycling by 0.31%, but in addition, total garbage is up. I think garbage is up for the Friday area at about 151 tons. So we've seen recycling uptick, but we've also seen garbage uptick as well too. But the program, from a comparison between Friday pickup and Friday pickup for the last 6 months, recycling has increased. So that turns now to kind of our public service announcement. What can you recycle? What can you put in your single stream recycling to have that recycling increase and get that incentivization back? So this is a listing from Roy Strom of everything that you can recycle. It's all easy. All you have to do is rinse your containers out and put it inside the single stream recycling. You don't have to separate anything. You don't have to do any work. Basically, you're treating it as a trash can for your recyclables. All you have to do is just place those items in the recycling bin and take that out to the curb. So really what we're trying to do now is to sort of increase the knowledge base of where recycling is going and how we can address these issues and get this incentivization that's put into the contract. Because Roy Strom wants us to recycle too. It's a less burdensome on them, we pay lower rates, it's just better for everybody if everybody increases their recycling. So what are the future plans of the program? Currently, we have applied for a DCO grant in the amount of $150,000. It would probably account for 2 days of pickup. So it would be a first-time application, then we would apply again in the next fiscal year or in the next year that the grant is offered if we were to receive this grant. It has a strong educational component. Roy Strom would be visiting schools and talking about how to recycle and what we can recycle and how to make recycling better. But if unapproved through DCO, if the grant is not approved, the program will be funded as funds become available. We have important infrastructure needs that need to be met first, so this is sort of important but not as important as meeting our infrastructure needs and the current requests of the residents and items that we need to address. So that's kind of where we're at with recycling, kind of how we're going to handle the future plans of recycling, and sort of help the village get that incentivization and help the village reach the goals of where we're at. And ultimately, as we wrote in the DCO grant application, we'd like to meet that DuPage County average. We'd like to be up there at 41% and not at 31%. So that's ultimately the goal of the program. We'd like to increase our recycling by approximately 60,000 pounds if we were able to get this totes out to the residents. And it makes it easy for the residents. If you're elderly or have physical difficulties, you can wheel that cart down, and it's a lot easier than dragging your cart down or dragging your recyclable tote down there. It just makes it easier on everybody. So with that, I'll open it to questions, and if you have any questions or concerns, I will.
Questions? Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
If a resident was interested in one of those nice two-wheeler totes with the lids on them, and if we don't catch up fast enough, do we have the option of purchasing those from Roy Strom?
We do.
I mean,
Currently,
as a
as a resident, they don't have a program yet, but I can talk to the village manager.
Okay, that'd be
As a
great.
village, if we were to outfit, we would have to purchase it ourselves.
I understand.
So it
Just-
would cost about $48 per tote to outfit it. And the totes itself are made from recyclable materials too.
Right, because the areas in town that do have this tote program, it looks much nicer.
Yeah.
Like on my block, everyone's got their own thing going on.
Yeah.
So just the question of if Roy Strom will sell them to residents who are willing to buy them.
And we know the times are lean, so we kind of want to make this a provision for everybody. We know that times are lean and people sometimes don't have the money to buy a 64-gallon recycling tote. So I'll talk to the village manager and see if we can
Thanks,
maybe
Adam.
work something out.
Appreciate that.
No problem.
He was talking about sponsorships or some sort
Yeah.
of thing like that. so.
Yeah.
Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, Madam President. Just one correction to your presentation. The 20-gallon blue bins were provided by DuPage County in
Oh, I apologize.
1993.
When I spoke to Director Giskelis about it, he mentioned waste management in conjunction when we signed the contract, so I assumed that it was that. It was
Yeah, when
my
we
area.
rolled out curbside recycling, they gave those to us
Yeah.
for free. Just a little, one question is, I know that when we approved the contract with Roy Strom, there was something about a sort of a magnet that would have the list of recyclables, and I haven't seen that yet.
You know, let me look into that with the village manager and see where we're at on that. Maybe, I don't know, I know that when we were discussing the contract originally, that was in there. I don't know if it went before the board without the magnets in there, or how that sort of worked, or where the educational component of the magnets came in, but I will definitely bring it up with the village manager and speak to him about that.
Yeah, and I know you got the chairman of the, or chairperson of the Environmental Concerns Commission to sign off on a letter for the grant, but I would like to see staff maybe work more with the Environmental Concerns Commission, because you have a group of volunteers who are eager to help promote recycling, and they have been doing things. Karen Ryan, who works for Roy Strom, has done some education schools, and she's worked with the Environmental Concerns Commission. They produced a little handout with recyclable materials that they passed out at fairs and Joyful Traditions. So this is great, but I'd like to see staff work closely with the Environmental Concerns Commission, because that's what they're there for. They're volunteers looking for, for projects to do. So
And I'm sure, as we move forward with the public service announcements and the educational component of recycling, that the village manager likes to be inclusive of all groups and inclusive of all board members and inclusive of all commissions. So, I'm sure that, I don't want to speak for him, but I'm sure that he will reach out to them in the
Yeah.
future for that.
My point is that's kind of one of their functions or what they're there for, so
Mhm.
put them to work,
Mhm.
I know they'd be eager to help, so.
Especially Karen Ryan, who works for Roy Strom,
Yeah.
is volunteering on the commission too.
Of course.
Okay. Cool. Trustee Volpus.
So, the recycling program now on Fridays,
The pilot program, yes, sir.
right, and that's been going on for, how long has it been?
May. It was started in the fiscal year of May.
Okay. So, almost a year.
About
months?
six months.
Yeah. So, and you've seen, they said they've seen that the amount of recycling in that area has increased.
Increased by 0.31% was the last figures presented
And
by Roy
the amount of recycling in the other areas of town, was there any increase in those, or are those stayed the same? In
We-
other words, does that Fridays actually see an increase?
Our my sole focus was to look at the Friday recycling program because we want to see if these 64-gallon totes are effective and if it's worth the investment to get those 64-gallon totes. It's a substantial amount of money. I think it would cost approximately $225,000 to outfit the village entirely. So we want to make sure that that's doing that. I can get those figures to you. I will definitely, we receive quarterly or monthly tonnage reports from Roy Strom, and they let us know kind of where we're at recycling-wise, and I would be more than happy to forward you on a
Yeah, it'd be nice
couple
to
of
know.
tonnage reports. And we have last year's tonnage reports, too, where they annually tell us how many pounds and tons of recycling.
But
and
he doesn't break
garbage.
it down on areas of the village.
No, the sole focus has been the Friday, the program.
No, okay.
But, the incentive applies to everyone throughout the village. It's not just the Friday program.
Yes, yeah.
So if
But I'm
recycling-
looking to see,
Yeah.
has the new totes really made a difference in the
Yeah.
recycling?
Mhm.
You know?
It's been moderately effective.
Okay. All right, thanks.
No
Really quick, you mentioned the DCEO grant, 150,000.
Mhm.
When did we apply for that?
It was completed by, in conjunction with Robinson Engineering, it was completed by Aaron, myself, and Doris. All three of us worked on it, and we completed the scope and then gave it to Robinson. They sent it in approximately on December 8th was the grant due date. We received extensive letters of support from Congresswoman Duckworth, State Senator Cullerton, Representative Conroy, and village board members and the Environmental Concerns Commission. We've received extensive letters of support. We sent those in as well, too. So we're optimistic. We haven't heard anything back yet, but, we
It's
work.
just been since December 8th. I knew it's been in pretty recently, I just couldn't remember exactly when.
We're optimistic. We'll see. I mean, I think I did a great job.
We're gonna find out if we get the grant.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that's true, but, we're optimistic. So.
And then the 150,000, that will help outfit residents in two other
In
pickup areas? I
Two
think,
other
that you
pickup areas. I
referred to.
believe that the average pickup, Friday was the smallest, it was 964 households. The average pickup area is about 1,000 to 1,200 households. Total households within the village is 6,004 for garbage collection, I think approximately. So we have about 5,000 left to outfit. So, it should cover, I believe, each day, each household to outfit was, or each pickup area to outfit was approximately $60,000 to $65,000 to outfit each day. What we're looking at, approximately.
We'll keep our fingers crossed, and
I will too.
I know you'll let us know as soon as we know what's
Of
going on
course.
with that.
Of
So,
course.
Anybody else on the board, since we're just in discussion only for a little update here? Okay, we appreciate
Okay.
that.
Thank you
So,
very much.
Continue with our
Thank you.
educational opportunities, and yes, definitely take up the Environmental Concerns Commission. Trustee Wagner is our board liaison, so, yes. All righty. We're going to move on, still on the Committee of the Whole agenda. Item number 7, consider an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the number of Class E liquor licenses from 1 to 0. I'm going to toss it over to, you probably noticed that Director of Public Works, Vitas Jaskalis, is sitting to my left. Manager Keener had a family emergency, and so Vitas is here to kind of pinch hit for him. So, and you've sat in the seat before, so I'm going to toss it over and have you read that part of the agenda for us.
Thank you, Madam President.
Item number 7.
During the 2015 liquor license renewal process, the police department was informed by the owner of Strats at 231 East North Avenue that they would not be renewing their liquor license for 2015. As the result of this, there's a need to modify Chapter 3, Section 3-13A to reflect the reduction of the number of Class E classification licenses from 1 to 0.
Okay, great. Any questions and comments from the public in regards to this item? We're reducing to 0. Okay, any questions and comments from the board? No, pretty self-explanatory there. So this was their decision to withdraw their liquor license. So, okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bullwinkle?
Yes. Moving on to item number 8, consider a resolution of the Village Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving improvement by a municipality under the Illinois Highway Code in the amount of $195,170. Vitas Discalis.
Thank you. Improvements to South Villa Avenue, which is Federal Aid Urban Route 2652 from Roosevelt Road to Madison Street, were completed in 2006. In addition to grant funding for construction, the village utilized motor fuel taxes, MFT, to pay for construction engineering. Village staff is in the process of officially closing out all past MFT-eligible projects. Based on the final project cost for South Villa, a supplemental resolution in the amount of $195,170 is recommended to allow a transfer of these funds from the MFT funds to the Street Improvement Fund. These funds would then be available for future road projects. Public Works staff requests approval of the attached supplemental resolution for improvements by municipality under the Illinois Highway Code in the amount of $195,170.
Any questions or comments from the public in regards to this item? Okay, how about from the board? Anybody from the board? We're actually adding money to the Street Improvement Fund here. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bullwinkle?
Yes. Item number 9 on the Committee of the Whole, consider a resolution of the Village Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving the purchase of one 2015 Moorbark M18R brush chipper with 200 horsepower John Deere engine through the HGAC BUY Cooperative Purchase Agreement in the amount of $79,821.50. Director Discalis.
Thank you, Madam President. To facilitate the removal of diseased ash trees, the Public Works Department proposes to purchase a new brush chipper. Currently, the village owns a 1998 Moorbark Model 2400 chipper. It is nearing the end of its useful life as a frontline piece of equipment. The purchase of a second brush chipper and the hiring of additional seasonal staff this summer would allow 2 forestry crews to be mobilized. Village staff requests authorization to purchase one Model 2015 Moorbark M18R brush chipper with a 200 horsepower John Deere engine via the HGAC BUY Cooperative Purchasing Program from Moorbark Inc. of Wynn, Michigan, for a total amount of $79,821.50. Funds would be taken from the corporate fund reserves. And we also have Street Superintendent Rich Salerno in case there are any questions about the equipment.
Okay, so stay close. We see where you are. Anybody from the public have any questions and comments about this? Come on up. Okay. No pen here.
No pen.
We've got one. There's usually one on a string. Sometimes they do disappear. Well, sometimes they disappear. So. Anyway, there you
Somebody
go.
wanted that pen pretty badly.
Apparently. It's okay. We got an extra one up here. You know the drill. State your name, 3 minutes. What's your question?
Cheryl Tucker, 434 South Cornell. My question is, you said that the chipper's at the end of it, the usefulness?
Useful life, yeah.
As a frontline piece of
As
equipment.
a front line. So what are you talking about? How in the world can you get 2 crews if it's just it's at the end of it? You're speaking of adding 2 crews, a seasonal crew, a second crew for a second thing. Is this still usable,
Oh, yes.
the frontline one?
It's for a piece of equipment of its age, it still operates. It just, it doesn't have that much time left in it. So it probably has a few years left in it, but if we relegate it to a secondary role, we could probably prolong its life. But the idea is once it is no longer repairable, we would just retire it and sell it. But it would enable us to finish up our Emerald Ash Borer removal program this summer ahead of schedule. And I
So
know
you'd have two of them working at the same time?
that's the plan.
So your idea is to purchase the second one to become, the 2001, to become the first front line and use the one we have right now
Until it
as the
dies.
backup until it dies?
Yes.
And then you just stated when it dies, we're going to sell it, or we're just going to junk it?
Well, it depends on what happens to it.
Ah,
The idea is not to wait until it dies. I mean, we talked at our last meeting about a truck that we're replacing. It's literally rust out from the bottom. And you can see not only the undercarriage, but the ground below. So we don't want to continue doing that, so we're trying to be a little more proactive and responsible.
was this also being used at the golf course?
Rich.
No. You can come on
Come on
up
up.
if you want, yeah. Cheryl doesn't bite, I promise. She asks good questions. Yeah.
Good evening.
Hi. Rich
The
Soler.
golf course actually borrowed our stump grinder, but not our brush chipper at this point.
Not the
I believe
what?
They
I'm
have
sorry.
their own brush chipper.
Okay.
A smaller version of what we have. So for smaller brush, they're able to take care of it.
Okay. So, okay. So Cheryl, she's walking away. I guess that means she's satisfied? You got your answer? Okay. All right. Just don't want to wait until the thing completely poops out on us, and then we have nothing. That would not be good either. Okay. Anybody else from the public? Any other questions? No? One once? Okay. How about the board? Anybody up here? Oh, Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, Madam President.
Sure.
I fully support this. I mean, I see the wisdom of getting, replacing a piece of equipment before it completely fails. Just have a related question. How many emerald ash borer infested trees do we have left to dispatch?
I see Rich Salerno is very anxious to get up here and answer
Yes.
that question.
$1,000 question. We've taken down quite a few. Maybe you can tell us how many you've taken down and then how many.
Last spring, we identified 745 trees for removal. Between village staff and contract employees, we removed 603. So approximately about 142 or 150 trees that are identified currently. We'll assess the village, what we did last spring for the number of the ash trees that we identified that at approximately 10 to 20% dieback. By the fall, rose to about 50 to 70% dieback. So I'm anticipating the 142 trees that we currently have earmarked for removal probably will rise up to probably 200 trees, if not more.
That's all I had.
Okay. But those trees that did die and didn't survive for whatever reason, they're under warranty. Is that
No,
right?
these are the ash trees that are
Ash trees.
infested with
Oh,
the emerald
okay.
ash borer.
I
These
thought
are
you
not,
meant-
these
okay,
are not new
not the
planted
new trees. Okay.
These are all strictly removals.
Okay. So if for some reason any of the new trees happen to die, I know those are under warranty.
We will be replacing them, yes.
Yes. So hopefully that won't happen, but sometimes you never know.
There's a small percentage of that don't survive with the new plantings for whatever conditions, but we try our best with the gator bags, mulching around them to retain water, and the time of year that we plant them in, and the caliper of the tree to the size of it.
Okay. Great. Good. Okay. Anybody else on the board? Any questions? Just have a couple. I noticed that this is coming out of Wynn, Michigan. I presume we either didn't hear from anybody from Illinois, or the bids were too high, or.
I guess maybe to explain a little bit about the HGAC cooperative.
Yeah, put a little bit
Actually,
of memo.
what it stands for is helping government across the country buy. So what they actually do is they talk to manufacturers direct. So you're actually getting a discount, a percent from the manufacturer. The good news is that our local distributor here in Lisle, who we have a good relationship with, Alexander, will be setting up the equipment, delivering it, and servicing any warranty items if they should arise. So we do have, it is being through a local dealer.
And it looks like by going through this cooperative, it's saving the village $16,048.50, according to the memo that we received.
That's correct. So they provide better than just standard government pricing and allows, so we don't have to actually go out for a bid process.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Madam President?
Yes.
I just wanted to mention, we
Yes.
could thank the fire chief for leading us to HGAC buy, because that's how we purchased the fire truck. And now we are members for any other piece of equipment that we may purchase.
Excellent. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Working together. That's very good. Okay. Thank you very much. I had another question, but that's not even that important because I can't remember what it is. So anyway, I can ask about it later. All right. We can do a roll call vote then if everybody else is okay.
Okay, trustee Taglia,
Yes.
trustee Wagner,
Yes?
trustee Bolfus.
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Okay. Item number 10, Committee of the Whole, consider resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing an engineering services agreement between the Village of Villa Park and Robinson Engineering for the 2015 pavement resurfacing program. Director Juskowitz.
Thank you. Village staff proposes to initiate design for improvements to streets scheduled to be resurfaced and rehabilitated in 2015. Over 23,600 feet of streets are proposed, both referendum and non-referendum funded, at a total estimated construction cost of almost $4.2 million. Robinson Engineering Limited has submitted a proposal to prepare the plans and specifications in conformance with village standards at a cost of $174,759. Work elements include data collection, field survey, preparations of plans, specifications, and cost estimates, and bidding services. Construction is anticipated in 2015. And I would mention, we do have Bill Cusson here from Robinson Engineering in case there are any questions towards that.
Excellent. Okay. With that, any other questions and comments from the public in regards to this item? Anybody? Okay. Seeing none, anybody from the board have any questions about this? No? Anybody? Okay. My only question for the staff is, once we figure out who's going to be resurfaced, and we have a pretty good idea, I think, at this point, we'll be publishing that schedule, because I know a number of residents are wondering, when are we going to get to the streets? When are we going to get to their streets? So when exactly will we be publishing that schedule for this year anyway?
Well, I believe once we have the plans to a point where we know what the scope of work is, it's probably not a bad idea to have a public information meeting
Probably.
for the residents in the streets.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have that in time for the town hall meeting, but
Okay.
certainly we could have another meeting at the appropriate time.
Well, definitely the schedule will be published, so once we get all those ducks in a row, we will get that out there to answer your questions, so. All right, anybody else on the board? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes?
trustee Bolfus.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia,
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Moving on to item number 11, consider resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing an engineering services agreement between the Village of Villa Park and RJN Group Incorporated for engineering services for the Village of Villa Park's capacity management operations and maintenance CMOM plan for the village's wastewater system. Director Juskowitz.
Thank you. The village owns and operates a wet weather flow treatment facility, WWFTF, that provides secondary treatment of excess sanitary and combined sewer flows. One of the requirements of the WWFTF's operating permit from the IEPA, which is the NPDES permit, is that the village complete and submit a capacity management, operations, and maintenance, and that's what the CMOM stands for, plan to the Illinois EPA. The general goal of the plan is to reduce sanitary sewer overflows and basement backups. RJN Group has submitted a proposal to provide the necessary services to produce the CMOM plan at a cost of $38,695. There is $25,000 currently budgeted in the wastewater fund, with the remainder to be budgeted next fiscal year.
Okay. Questions and comments from the public in regards to this item? Okay. Questions and comments from the board in regards to this item? Okay. And we'll move on with a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes?
trustee Bolfus.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
And President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Okay. Item number 12, consider a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the contract with Lauterbach and Amen for audit services. Dr. Discallis?
For the past several years, the Village, Elmhurst Park District, and Sugar Creek Golf Course have all used the services of the firm Lauterbach and Amen for audit services. The Village believes that each entity should retain independent firms for such services to improve the review and oversight of our shared facility, the Sugar Creek Golf Course. In 2013, the Village approved a 3-year agreement with Lauterbach and Amen, so now it is necessary to rescind that approval.
Questions and comments from the public in regards to this item? Okay, questions and comments from the board? Regards to this item?
Oh, yes.
Okay, Trustee
So
Davis.
this change is this Lauerbach and Amen won't be the village's firm anymore. Now, because all three municipalities and two municipalities and the golf course use them.
Right.
Is Elmhurst Park District changing their audit firm? Do we know of that, or
You don't know.
we don't know?
Not for
And
sure.
Is the golf course changing their audit firm? We don't know that
Not-
either.
Don't know that either.
Okay, so, okay, well, I can see why that's a good idea, but it seems like there's one more entity that should change their audit firm.
Let's just say we've strongly recommended that they,
I know, I'm just
that they
saying.
do that, but we are definitely doing it. Yeah, absolutely needs to be done, so.
Okay, thank you.
Everything else okay? Okay. Anybody else? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Bullfuss?
Yes,
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bullwinkle?
Yes. Item number 13 on the committee of the whole. Consider a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a proposal of Sikich LLP for audit services. Trust, I keep wanting to call you manager. Director Discallis.
Thank you, Madam President. The Village sought proposals from multiple auditing firms. After reviewing the proposals from 3 very well-qualified firms, staff is recommending approval of a 5-year agreement with Sikich LLP of Naperville, Illinois for auditing services. Sikich was the lowest cost proposal by more than $7,500 per year, with an average cost for regular auditing services of $26,411 for each of 5 years, plus the cost of a single audit should that be necessary. The first-year audit cost will be $24,400. The funds will come out of the general fund and TIF funds.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the public in regards to this item? Okay. Questions or comments from the board? Okay, just rolling in. Okay, Trustee Wagner.
Just a question about changing audit firms, and maybe our finance director can answer this. Is it a requirement, or is it just a good practice to change up your audit firm every once in a while to?
Kevin
Get a
Wachtel,
fresh
our
perspective.
Director of Finance.
There's no specific legal requirement for municipal governments to change their auditing firms or their audit partner. A number of years ago, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act was adopted for the private sector, where they required certain changes with their auditing firms and the oversight. That didn't necessarily filter down to municipalities and governments, but it still is good practice to have to at least change your audit partner, your audit management team, the people who come out and actually inspect your books on a rotating basis every 4 or 5 years or whatever the case is. But there's no legal requirement or there's no specific practice, but it is a good idea to have someone new take a look at your books every now and again.
That's all I had, Madam President.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Down there? Anything on your mind? Questions? You good?
is there anybody here from Sikich?
No,
Oh.
they're not here today.
Okay, just curious.
Okay.
Thank you.
All righty then. Roll call vote.
Trustee Bullfuss?
Yes,
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
President Bullwinkle?
Yes. Okay, with that, we're going to convene to the formal agenda. Shuffle routine here. Okay. Item number 1 on the formal is the village president's report. And we have a couple quick things. First thing, just a reminder that our next coffee with the board for February will be Saturday, February 7th, 9 a.m. here at Village Hall. Hope to see you. It's an opportunity for you to come and meet with the board in an informal environment and talk about what's on your mind. So do that. And also, just my other thing is, Director Descalis alluded to it earlier, and we'd mentioned it during our last board meeting, that we will be having a State of the Village town hall meeting in February. We haven't locked down the date yet, but we're looking at the end of February. So as soon as we get that date set in stone and the location ironed out, we will get information out to the residents through every communication vehicle we have available to us, from Twitter and Facebook to emails, notices in the paper, and we'll talk about it up here. And you can call staff and board, but we'll definitely get the word out. We'd like to see you there. It'll be an opportunity to kind of review what has happened in the last year and where we're going this year. So it'll be our first public engagement opportunity of 2015. So really hope to see you there. So, but we'll get more information out to you as soon as we have that. But just want to get it on your radar that we're working on it, and we'll get it to you as soon as we can. So with that, that's all I have on my very short report tonight. So we'll move on to item number 2. This is public comments on agenda items for the formal. This is regarding items 4 and 5 on the agenda. So if anybody has anything from the public, we have a few folks still left there with us tonight. If you have anything on your mind, it's public comment on agenda items. Now's your opportunity. Otherwise, we will move on. I don't see anybody moving, so we're going to move on then for public comments. If you want to speak on non-agenda items, that'll be coming up on item number 6. So, all right, with that, we're going to move on to item number 3, amendments to the agenda. Does anybody have any amendments to the formal agenda? No? All right. We will be removing the executive session, but we'll do that at the end as well. So that's all that I have. Okay. Then we're going to move on to item number 4, the consent agenda. This is items A through K. I'll just read the headings for the record. A, bill listing dated January 26, 2015 in the amount of $921,776.09. B, minutes from Village COW meeting for January 12, 2015. C, minutes from the Village Formal Board meeting for January 12, 2015. D, second reading of an ordinance providing for the issuance of general obligation bonds for the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $10 million for the purpose of paying for the costs of certain street and related improvements and costs related thereto, and to the issuance of such bonds, and authorizing the execution of a bond order in connection therewith, and for the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on said bonds. Very long sentence there. E, first and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the number of Class E liquor licenses from 1 to 0. F, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving and adopting the Villa Park Facade Assistance Program as part of a local incentive to revitalize the Kenilworth TIF redevelopment project area and the adjacent buildings along Villa Avenue. G, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving improvement by municipality under the Illinois Highway Code in the amount of $195,170. H, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing an engineering services agreement between the Village of Villa Park and Robinson Engineering for the 2015 pavement resurfacing program. I, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing an engineering services agreement between the Village of Villa Park and RJN Group Incorporated for engineering services for the Village of Villa Park's capacity management operations and maintenance, otherwise known as CMOM, plan for the village's wastewater system. J, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the contract with Lauterbach and Amen for audit services. And K, resolution for the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a proposal of Sikich LLP for audit services. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
Madam President,
Trustee Bolfus.
so moved.
Okay, do I have a seconder?
Madam President,
Trustee Taglia.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Any other additional questions or comments from the board on any of these? Okay, roll call vote.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bogenko?
Yes. Item number 5 on the formal resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. Oh, I thought we may do that during the report.
We will do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. I haven't forgotten about you. So, yeah,
Thank you.
we'll get to you. Yep, the next level of reports. Yeah, we'll kind of leave everybody in suspense until then. Because it's good news. Okay. Back to item number 5, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving the purchase of 1 2015 Morbark M18R brush chipper with 200 horsepower John Deere engine through the HGAC by Cooperative Purchasing Program in the amount of $79,821.50. To facilitate the removal of diseased ash trees, the Public Works Department proposes to purchase a new brush chipper. Currently, the village owns a 1998 Morbark Model 2400 chipper. It is nearing the end of its useful life as a frontline piece of equipment. The purchase of a second brush chipper and the hiring of an additional seasonal staff this summer would allow 2 forestry crews to be mobilized. Village staff requests authorization to purchase one 2015 Morbark M18R brush chipper with a 200 horsepower John Deere engine via the HGAC by Cooperative Purchasing Program from Morbark Inc. of Wynn, Michigan, for a total amount of $79,821.50. Funds would be taken from the corporate fund reserves. I have a motion on item number 5. Trustee Wagner.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a second?
Second.
Trustee Bolfus. Any other additional questions or comments from the board on this? We good? Okay, roll call vote.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
President Bogenkamp?
Yes. Okay. Item number 6, public comments on non-agenda items. So if there's anybody here with us tonight that have anything on your mind in regards to non-agenda items, this is your opportunity. Come up, sign in. 3 minutes, ask a question. Okay. Hi, Cheryl.
I actually have a question for the attorney.
Okay.
Do we have enough board members here to make a vote tonight?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
You need all
Just
yeses.
make
Yes.
it. We need
We're
it,
good.
and we need 4 votes to pass any item, which is majority 4 out of 7. And fortunately, we have enough for a quorum, and we've had unanimous votes, and I've counted every time. So we're good.
So we're good.
That's all I wanted
Yes,
to know.
we would have
Yes.
mentioned something earlier if it wasn't, but this is
Thank
all-
you for asking.
We're copacetic up
Just,
here.
yeah, just to make sure.
Yeah, I know, we're slim pickings, especially with Trustee Davis no longer with us, but, yeah. We've got the core board here tonight, so. All right, anybody else from the public like to speak on non-agenda items? Going once, going twice? All righty then, we're gonna move on to item number 7, village clerk's report.
No report. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, village trustees report. We'll start to my left, since Trustee Wagner's down there all by himself
Thank you, Madam
tonight.
President. I just had a couple things. I just wanted to offer my congratulations to the parishioners of St. Pius X Catholic Church in Lombard. They celebrated their 60th anniversary over the weekend, and I was privileged to be there for that, for the Mass and the celebration. And just few interesting facts about the parish. It was formed December 28th of 1954, and the first Mass was held on January 30th, 1955, in Jackson Middle School. And they continue to have Mass in Jackson Middle School gymnasium until the church was completed in 1956. So it was a wonderful celebration, and I was pleased to be there. Mentioned the Environmental Concerns Commission. They are looking for commissioners. And I don't know the exact number. I think 2 or 3 they're looking for. But if you go to the village's website, you can find an application and forward it to Madam President, and you're on your way, hopefully. So
Because we just swore somebody in, newer commissioner.
yes, and she's been coming to meetings. So.
Excellent, okay, yeah, I'll get with you about the numbers, though. I thought we were close enough for a quorum, but we'll go back and take a look
Right.
at that, so, okay.
And just a couple things. I know all residents get the resource, which is the library's way of telling people about programs, and that the library has a really interesting program coming up. They're building a seed library, and on January 28th, Wednesday, January 28th, there's a 2-part training program for gathering seeds. And these are not just heirloom seeds, but open pollinated seeds. And it's a training program. You have to go through the first training program, which is Wednesday, January 28th from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. The second class is on February 11th, and then they're going to repeat that process again. So very interesting things that the library is doing. And one other thing I wanted to mention that the library is doing is a fundraising event. is, and I know that some of the trustees have been to this before, it's called Tea Time at the library. And they basically turn the library into a miniature golf course. And it's great fun, and just want to encourage residents to participate in that, and maybe the board might want to participate, or
I've
buy a
participated
hole
before,
or
I'll do it
whatever.
again, yeah. Not a very good golfer,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
doesn't count with miniature
Yeah.
golf, I don't think.
Or sponsor a hole, I meant to say.
Yeah.
But, so, and that's all I had.
I think it's good. Okay, great, thank you very much. Okay, to my right, trustee Bolfus.
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay. Trustee Taglia, last but
Okay.
not least?
I think we all got this message, but it's a question I want to ask. A resident sent me an email asking why is parking restricted on village streets between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. And I told him I really didn't know why, and that I would ask.
I don't know the answer to that either. However, I am planning on asking the Traffic and Safety Commission, since some of those commissioners have been around for much longer than we have, and figured I'd start there to see if they may have some insight.
Good. I just want to put
So,
someone on the spot.
yes. So once we're done with that little piece of research, bring it back to you. Yeah, because it was a good question. Very good question. Okay. Anybody? Anything else? Is that it? Okay, that's a good question. Okay, great. All right, moving on to our village manager's report. We've got Director Scalis here pinch hitting for our manager tonight.
Thank you, Madam President.
List of stuff, huh?
No, just one item. I would like Rich Salerno to come up and give us an update on our snow removal efforts for this season.
We have to ask about that every meeting. People are wondering.
The good news is we're not the East Coast.
Not this year.
Not
Last
tonight.
year we.
Not tonight.
Yeah,
So.
not tonight.
It's been a mild winter, knock on wood with that. We've had approximately 14 events. We've used a total of 160 tons of rock salt being treated with our new bead heat concentrate, and with a total about of 15 inches of snowfall for the season. So this time last year we had approximately 45 inches. So good news is we're conserving manpower and materials.
Yes. Yay. Which does roll over to next year, so hopefully we won't have to spend as much on, well, the beet heat though, if I refer to it right, that's a pretty good thing. You want to talk a little bit about that? I know we mentioned it in the last meeting, but for those that didn't catch the last meeting.
It's an alternative to calcium chloride, which the village previously used to pre-wet our salt. Any liquid on the salt actually helps remove melt ice, makes the plowing efforts much easier. The advantage of using bead heat versus calcium chloride, it's extremely less corrosive, and it's supposed to reduce our salt usage by a minimum of at least 10%. So with that, make our dollars go a little bit further with the price of salt these days.
It's more eco-friendly and also it incorporates some level of beet juice, sort of, kind
Actually,
of.
not
Something
direct
like
beet juice,
that?
but it's actually carbohydrates, which are a number of sugars, similar, but and a number of chlorides. So it is a good mixture and approved by the IEPA. So and 99% biodegradable after about 8 days, so which is good for the environment.
And won't harm our streets, especially since we're embarking upon a major street overhaul, so.
Yes,
we
the
wanna try
calcium
to
chloride
preserve-
really is corrosive to the equipment as well as the pavements. So it is good.
Better on the cars, better on the curbs, better on the roads, better all the way around. So, okay. Anything else?
Well, I believe we do have some information on the bond sale. I don't know
Yes,
who
we
wants to
do.
give that
Yeah, I
report.
wasn't sure who wanted to go there first, so.
Madam President, call the question.
Oh, this is good news. Just wait, there's more. Yes. Nope, you're good.
Good evening. It's good to be here again. Tom Reedy with George K. Bauman Company. We have a report on today. We actually did go to market to price the second tranche of the village's bond issues that were approved by the referendum. We went to market with $8,850,000 in total par amount of bonds, which yielded about $9,340,000 in project funds to the village. I've explained before that the market is currently prefers premium price bonds, meaning that the coupon rate on the bonds that is paid is actually higher than the yield. And so that's the current preferred market structure. So in pricing today, we priced bonds anywhere from the 1 to 11 year. It's an 11-year, just under 11-year final maturity with a true interest cost of 2.145%. So extremely attractive interest rate there.
That's lower than what you quoted before.
Right,
So-
right. We were initially looking at a 12-year structure in working with Director Wachtel and PMA, the village's financial advisor, and the village staff and Attorney Orr. We came up with a structure, ended up going 11 years as opposed to 12 years. When we were planning this sale in December, we were looking at a 12-year structure and looking at about 2.5%. So it is 1 year shorter. It's not exactly apples to apples, but if we had gone to 12-year structure, we probably would have come in right around 2.4%.
Which,
So
that makes up, I mean, that makes a big difference when you're talking about the
Right,
longevity
right.
of this bond.
When we were planning in December, Director Walker brought this up today, we were looking at about 10.9 million in total principal and interest payments
Okay.
over the life of this bond issue, and the total P&I that the village will be paying is right at about 10,550,000. So the market's been really cooperative. Interest rates have been coming down, so it's been and of course the village has a very strong credit rating, so it's been a very successful day in the market
So
today.
we locked it down and we're good.
Yep, it's all
Okay.
locked in.
Yay.
And the rate, the actual adjusted rate is?
2.145%.
There you
That's the
go.
Yeah,
true
yeah,
interest
you
cost.
mentioned that earlier. It's 2.145%. That's the lockdown.
2.1.
2.1,
Yeah.
yeah. Still, we'll take it over 2.5. That makes a big difference. Dollars wise, how much?
Dollars wise, well, when we were initially looking in December, I mentioned we were looking at 10.9 million in total principal and interest, and it came in right around 10,550,000.
So it's $400,000 savings. in
Yes,
interest.
that's where I'm going with that. $400,000 savings.
And of course, the village was able to achieve lower borrowing costs because we did break it up into two separate bank qualified issues, which we estimated the benefit being about 330,000 per issue of this size.
Very good. Yay. Rather use that 400,000 towards something else than interest. No offense to those that love interest, you know, but we'd like to use it for something.
You'd like to use it on your
different.
streets.
Yes, roll it back into that, so. All right, yay.
I believe Director Wachtel has some additional
Finance
information.
director, yeah, he's itching to come up here and add a few things, a few cents maybe.
I did also want to mention that we did position this particular bond issue with thinking in mind that in a couple years we are going to have to we're going to issue the last series of bonds, the third tranche that were authorized by the referendum, and so these two issues plus whatever happens in a couple of years, we're looking to have a level debt service payments throughout the term, throughout the 20 years that the bonds were issued. So we positioned this so that it stays level, what is going to impact property tax bills for the next 20 years, as opposed to having it going up and down or up at the end or anything like that, but a level debt service payment throughout the 20 years. So that was part of the thought process in positioning these particular bonds.
Well, we appreciate that because, you know, when we talked during our town hall meetings, we talked about wanting to make it as easy as we possibly could on the residents, you know. for
And
this.
when we were talking about this particular bond issue, we kept going back to what were we talking about during the referendum? What were the dollar amounts that we were saying were going to be affected each particular year or for doing principal and interest payments? So just want to point that particular part out. And there will be we'll be at this again in a couple of years. This is not the last one, so there's still some referendum capacity that's remaining. So
I hope the interest rates continue to behave, so we'll see.
That would be fantastic.
I know y'all will be watching it, so. We'll see. No, who knew it was gonna go down to 2.45%? Or
Pretty happy about
2.1545%.
Right.
So, 0.1, so, yeah. All right, wow, okay. Okay, anything else?
That is all, Madam
No?
President.
Okay, make sure- Okay, great, thank you. Thank you for that good piece of news. Nice to hear overstating that. All right, moving on to the village attorney's report.
No report.
No report? Okay, and then we did have an item on the agenda to go into exec session, but we are not going into exec session tonight. So that means we're hopping over that item and moving on to adjournment, item number 12. Do we have a motion
Madam President,
to adjourn? Okay.
move to adjourn.
Olfus, do we have a second? Anybody? Do we want to stay here all night?
I'll second that motion.
Wagner, okay.
'Cause
All
I'd
right.
leave.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We are done with our meeting tonight. We'll see everybody at our next meeting on Monday, February 9th, here, 7:30 Village Hall. Thanks, Villa Park.
Tom?